Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about using the distributive property. Let's take a look. So what does it mean to distribute? When you distribute something to each person in the group, you give that thing to each person in the group. So in this case, we have a present, and we're giving it to both people. The same thing applies. So the distributive property is the process of distributing the number or term on the outside of the parentheses to each term on the inside. So in this case, we have the 5 times the 4 plus 7. That is called factored form when the 5 is on the outside of the parentheses. And when we multiply it by the 4 and by the 7, we have expanded form. So 5 times 4 plus 5 times 7. That's called expanded form. We then simplify that. 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 7 is 35, and we simplify further to get 55 as our most simplified version of that expression. So in these examples, it's asking us to write the following in the expanded form and then simplify. So same thing applies when we have a variable. We're still multiplying that number or term on the outside of the parentheses by both or all of the terms inside. So here I'm multiplying the 6 by the x and the 6 by the 7. Notice how the terms are separated by addition and subtraction signs. That will always be the case. So 6 times x plus 6 times 7. I know 6 times x is just 6x. 6 times 7 is 42. So we get 6x plus 42 is our final version. Again, the 6 times x plus 6 times 7, this is expanded form, and this is simplified. So now we have a little bit harder. We have negative 3m outside of the parentheses. Remember, when you're multiplying these, you are adding those exponents. If they don't have them written, the exponents are currently 1. So I have a negative 3m multiplied by a 8m. I have a negative 3m multiplied by a negative 2n, and a negative 3m multiplied by a positive 5. So negative 3m multiplied by 8m, and a negative 3m multiplied by a negative 2n. I'm just going to put that as in parentheses so we know it's multiplication, and a negative 3m multiplied by a positive 5. I could put all of these in parentheses just so it looks the same. So now multiplying the negative 3m and the positive 8m, negative 3 times positive 8 is a negative 24. And m times m is m squared, because the exponent on this m is 1, the exponent on this m is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So now I have a negative 3m and a negative 2n. A negative multiplied by a negative is a positive, so negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6. And now m times n is just mn. And now I have a negative 3m multiplied by 5. Negative 3 times 5 is a negative 15. And now m. Looking at C here, we have 4 times 5v plus 4 minus 6 times 2v minus 5. So I'm going to multiply this 4 by this parentheses, and I'm going to multiply this negative 6 by this parentheses. So 4 times 5v, and 4 times 4, and negative 6 times 2v, and negative 6 times negative 5. So I'm going to write that, so 4 times 5v plus 4 times 4. And then it's a negative 6 times the 2v, and the negative 6 multiplied by the negative 5. So 4 times 5v, 4 times 5 is 20, so that's 20v, plus 4 times 4, well, 4 times 4 is 16. Now we have negative 6 times 2v, so negative 12v. And a negative 6 times a negative 5 is a positive 30. Now I can combine like terms, so I can do this 20v minus this 12v because those are like terms. And I know that 20 minus 12 is 8, so I get 8v. And now I have a 16 plus a 30, so a positive 16 and a positive 30, and that gets me to a positive 46. All right, looking at D here, I have x plus 15 over 5. It doesn't look like the same problems that we've been dealing with, but dividing by a number is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So dividing by 5 is the same as multiplying by 1/5. So this is really 1/5 times x plus 15. So that's how you can write it using the distributive property. So this is now factored form. So now when I multiply 1/5 times x, I get 1/5 x, and 1/5 times 15, I get 3. So 1/5 times x plus 15 is 1/5 x plus 3. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.